space. The final frontier.
The Star Trek torch has been passed to the next generation.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise.
The journey continues
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
on an all-new ship
Fine ship. A credit to her name.
with Starfleet's finest at the helm.
Let's make sure that history never forgets. The name, Enterprise.
A brave and loyal first officer
William T. Riker, Commander at sea.
He is simply the finest officer with whom I have ever served.
On my mark. .75 burst.
Ready, sir.
Fire.
an android science officer, Commander Data.
I have an ultimate storage capacity of 800 quadrillion bits. My total linear computational speed has been rated at 60 trillion operations per second.
You're not quite, human, are you?
If I were not a consummate professional and an android, I would find this insulting.
The ship's security officer, Lieutenant Worf.
The honor is to serve.
A valued member of the crew.
I'm a Klingon, sir. For me to seek escape when my captain goes into battle.
You are a Starfleet officer, Lieutenant.
Fascinating.
The entire universe awaits them
Let's see what's out there.
as the adventure continues.
Engage.
In Star Trek, The Next Generation.
The sky's the limit.
In a distant corner of our galaxy, on the edge of Cardassian territory, Starfleet have taken control of a vital outpost. This is the Federation station, Deep Space Nine.
We might have just discovered the first stable wormhole known to exist.
This will shortly become a leading center of commerce, and for Starfleet, one of our most important posts.
The crew are at a crossroads between the familiar
Commander, would you like a tour of the station?
and the unknown.
An alliance between the Dominion and the Federation will be beneficial to both our people.
A new enemy threatens a fragile peace.
I want you to call off this attack.
And what do you propose we do instead? Stand by and allow the Dominion to take over the Alpha Quadrant?
This is a place where heroes are born.
Come with me, Worf. Glory awaits you on Cardassian.
This is a place where legends are forged.
Today is a good day to die.
Fire! An amazing new series of adventures. Now on video. Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Aren't you just a little bit curious?
70,000 light years from Earth. A Federation starship is trying to get home. In the Star Trek tradition, the adventures continue in Star Trek Voyager.
That's our ship. Intrepid class. Sustainable cruise velocity of warp factor 9.975. 15 decks. Bioneural circuitry.
Gentlemen, welcome aboard Voyager.
Thank you, sir.
Do it.
Computer, initiate emergency medical holographic program. Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
I have friends among races you don't even know exist.
They have found themselves beyond the final frontier.
You are entering a war zone.
Now they are fighting for survival.
It's a fine crew, and I've got to get them home.
Star Trek Voyager.
Engage.
The legend lives on.
Hi, I'm James Doohan. Welcome to the first volume of Star Trek episodes to be released in this, our 30th anniversary year. The Cage was originally produced in 1964 as a test, known as a pilot episode, to show the television networks what Star Trek would look like. And in later years, when the show's creator, Gene Roddenberry, was asked to comment about how he originally dreamt up the outer space concept, he cited a similar motivation to that of the author of Gulliver's Travels. Jonathan Swift had wanted to write about contemporary issues, but knew that if he dared to talk about stupid kings and crooked prime ministers, he would rapidly find himself awaiting execution. So Swift created Lilliput to write metaphorically about his times. Television in the 1960s was subject to such rigid censorship that Gene Roddenberry, too, felt it was almost impossible to create drama addressing contemporary issues. So Roddenberry created a vision of the future in which alien civilizations could suffer our problems. It was his hope that by writing about racism and civil rights on other planets, the network censors would not realize that he was presenting modern social issues. Gene was well aware that science fiction was a tough idea to sell, but equally he was convinced that it was the only way to tell the stories. In the course of his efforts to get the series produced, he resorted to telling people that it would be like Wagon Train to the Stars because of the popularity of Westerns. Finally, Desilu Studios agreed to make Star Trek, but when the network, NBC, saw The Cage, they were not impressed. Instead of a Western in space, they were given an intellectual drama about the perils of mind control and the immorality of imprisonment. They did, however, feel that the show had potential, given some significant changes. One specific objection was that actress Majel Barrett's character, Number One, could not be second in command because she was a woman. Gene pointed out that the sexes were equal in Star Trek's era, but the network showed him some unexpected responses from females in the test audience. Far from embracing a woman in such a position of power, the general response to her was, "Who the hell does she think she is?" In an unprecedented move, the network ordered a second pilot episode. Only Leonard Nimoy as Spock remained. The captain's role was renamed Kirk and given to William Shatner. My own character, Scotty, and George Takei's Sulu made their debut with him in Where No Man Has Gone Before. I got on to Star Trek through the director, Jimmy Goldstone. I had auditioned unsuccessfully in front of him for another role just 10 days before, but something I did must have caught his eye, because he called me in on a Saturday morning for Star Trek. I was handed a script and asked to do several accents. I read the part in Russian, Irish, English, German, and Scottish voices. Gene asked me my favorite. When I suggested a Scotsman because of their engineering tradition, I even named him Scotty. All right? The tone of this second pilot is different from The Cage, containing much more action. This episode was produced during 1965 at a cost of $300,000. By early 1966, Network NBC had ordered 13 episodes of Star Trek to be screened during the autumn. The first series episode to be produced, The Corbomite Maneuver, began filming on May 24, 1966. It introduced DeForest Kelley as Dr. McCoy and Grace Lee Whitney as Yeoman Rand. Both had been in another but unsuccessful Gene Roddenberry pilot, known as Police Story. Rounding out our crew complement was Nichelle Nichols as Uhura. Having been asked to remove the female character of Number One, Gene was determined to sneak another woman onto the bridge as a high-ranking officer. Better than that, he managed to cast her from a second ethnic minority.